Hi guys, so I'm gonna be doing a trilogy of videos for you. The first one is gonna be about what it's like internally to leave Islam. The second one is gonna be about what you're gonna go through in terms of coming out to your family and your friends and how you can prepare for that. Third one is going to be about what you do once you've left. Well, once you've got stability, what do you actually do with yourself? Why am I doing this video? So there's lots of stuff online that you can find about kind of ex-Christian stuff, let's say, or ex-religious Jews or ex-Jews. There's quite a few things coming out from ex-Mormon communities, but there's not really a lot of things from Muslim communities around leaving the religion of Islam. There are some really weird, like, join Jesus again type things by people who say, well, you know, leave Islam but join Christianity. And I found that doesn't really fit, because most of the people I've met who left Islam don't join another religion. I'd also like to thank James Mulholland. He used to be a minister, but then he left Christianity, and his journey he put up out there, and I really liked some of his metaphors, so I've heavily used some of his ideas, and thank you, James, for giving me permission in this video to use them. I mean, before I start, what kind of Muslim was I? Generally, I was a happy Muslim, to borrow from James. The Islamic narrative just made sense of the world for me. If Islam makes sense for you, that's totally fine. This video may not be for you. This video is for people who've already left the religion, helping them think about, well, I've left, but now what? Different people also leave religion for so many different reasons, so I'm not going to try to justify any of those reasons on this video. That's not what I'm here for. If you talk to people who've left, you'll find that there's a common thread. There's generally not like a single time that someone said, oh, I'm going to suddenly stop believing in this. It's generally a process. It's a process and it takes time. For many people, Islam is everything. You color everything in your life through the lens of Islam. So for example, you know, things I would learn about politics, things that I would learn about science, things that I learn about economics, etc. I would always color through the frame and lens of Islam. And like many Muslims, you'll always question some things about your religion. Most Muslims will settle themselves with these answers. You know, no matter how much I wanted to be settled, no matter how much I dug to get answers so that I could confirm myself as a Muslim, some of these answers just didn't sit with me. The more you dig into it, the less convinced you may become. There's two main things that I think people have as blocks that make them very afraid about thinking about even leaving. The first one is this fear of Jahannam. For non-Muslim viewers, this is hell, basically, for Muslims. You find hell across so many different religions. Who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe the Islamic version of hell is true. But the more I looked at it, the more a lot of the people I know who are like me looked at it, the more it feels like it's a story to keep people inside the religion. You know, to be so afraid that you wouldn't even think about leaving. The second risk is the risk of relationships, where for many people, your relationships within the Muslim community will be all the relationships you have. That's with your friends, your family, your cousins, even your children, even your wife, even your husband. So these two things really play like a part in kind of stopping you from even considering that you want to make that jump inside your head. But most people, I find, at some point get over that, and they come to terms with these two fear factors. I also find out that a lot of people go through a progressive Muslim phase or a Quranist phase. I went through this for about maybe 4 or 5 months. Some people go through it for a year, and that's completely fine. If you want to stay there, that's completely fine as well. This whole stage is I call it the coming out to yourself phase, because you're starting to accept inside your head that this may not be what you believe. And one of the key factors of this is loneliness, or perceived loneliness, as in you think you're alone. It's not that loneliness was a dark place. I didn't even know you could leave. I didn't even know you could leave the religion. It's crazy to think now, but I used to think I was the only person who'd ever left Islam in the whole world. This is how closed it is in terms of not knowing other people like you. From about a third of the people I've spoken with who've left religion like me or in the communities, they all come up to me and say, yeah, I thought I was the only one as well. So it's really amazing that you feel so alone. This loneliness is what drove me to meet other people in the beginning when I thought I was alone. And I went out and I met 1, 2, 10, 20, 30 people, to the point where I'd be texting like 50 people a night when I was setting up some of the events in the UK. And thankfully we're just huge right now. There's also these massive communities in the US. Now, These people are not full-time political activists or anything like that. People have these assumptions of what former Muslim or ex-Muslim might be like. And let me tell you, they're doctors, they're nurses, they're students, they're your children, they're your cousin, they're your sister. That's why I think one of the first things I would say is join a community. These communities are usually quite strict in terms of security, so it's very good as a safe space to make you feel kind of supported. And what happens is you breed familiarity, so you'll find other people like you, you'll feel comfortable in your own skin. If you want to join the UK communities, especially the London one or the one up north, give me an email. That my email is below. If you want to join the ones in the US and Canada, EXMNA is great for that. There's an email below for them, or you can also email me. And finally, I'm setting one up in Australia with Noura. If you want to join that, send me an email again to this one. I'm going to talk a little bit about the mountain now. What do I mean by the mountain? So James has this metaphor that I absolutely love about leaving religion. He says that religion is a bit like a mountain. In the beginning, when you're up on top and you're looking down all this land around you, the land around you looks really dull and lifeless and meaningless. But when you start coming off the mountain, and it might feel like a very daunting task because the mountain's so big, it's just there and you never leave the shadow of the mountain quickly. Often it takes 1,000 steps. It takes a really long time to walk away from a mountain's shadow. In the beginning, it'll fill the sky behind you, so everything behind you will be the mountain, and you'll often measure your progress away from the mountain by it. So you'll compare yourself in position to it. When life gets really tough or difficult, you might even return to it. But for most people, as you walk further and further away from the mountain, its effect on you lessens and it kind of recedes into the horizon. And one day, you'll not feel its presence behind you anymore. And you'll start to look around the world. And you'll see that that world that you thought was lifeless and meaningless and bland is actually really diverse, really colorful, and probably more beautiful than you can ever have imagined. It's a bit like when you start at university or you have a child or something like that, where everything about how you view the world completely changes. Also, everything about how you view yourself and even your relationship with other people, it changes completely. You know, no matter how hard it's been and how hard it's gonna be, I don't regret it one bit. I don't regret being honest with myself. I don't regret being honest with other people. I don't regret this fantastic bonds I've made in the last 2 years, and I hope you don't either. Special thanks again to James, who's awesome. And if you're someone who's out there and watching this video or watching my other videos has made a light bulb go off in your head, please send your questions to me to this email so that I can actually answer back to you and help you. But also, if there's other people out there asking the same questions, I'll put it up online. Donate if you can. Every bit of donation goes straight to making more of these videos and helping other ex-Muslims out there. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Peace.